Good morning, Facebook and Insta fam. It's been a while. I think we're all in a season of so much growth that sometimes it's hard to make time for the things that are most important. Um, and that's kind of where my heart is this morning. And I kind of wanted to share with you guys. So, as I was leaving my house in a rush, because I feel like I have been in a season of rush, like I'm rushing from one class to the next class, from one student to the next student, from my students to my kids to my husband, and it just has felt so chaotic and so challenging. Um, and so let me just give you a little snippet into my history. So before, I used to work part-time, which was marvelous, and I taught kindergarten and I taught in person. And this year, I have been blessed to teach online, which comes with its own different set of challenges. And I've also been blessed to go full time. So now I have 2 classes, 42 students, and it's been very busy because my second class I just received like a month into school. So needless to say, I received them 3 weeks before parent-teacher conferences. So that's a lot of testing in teacher world and a lot of getting to know people and a lot of rushing, it felt like. And yesterday, in tears, I called a friend and said, I just need you to pray for me. And she was like, okay, about what? And I was like, school. I think she might have even said school. And I was like, yes. And I just said, I feel so overwhelmed. And so she prayed for me. And I've been getting up quiet and like trying to find quiet time. But my kids always rouse or wake up exactly like 5 minutes after I do. So today, I got up, read a little bit of Ephesians, which I love Ephesians. And then Kingston was awake and Kenai was awake, and so I got them breakfast. And then my husband woke up, and I was like, I'm going to get ready. And I listened to a sermon, which you should go listen to. It's at elevationchurch.org. And it was so good. It was about Job and perspective. And that's kind of God's theme for me today, is perspective. So, my perspective was really raw. And it's funny that when I was rearranging my kids' room this week, that one of their pictures said, the Lord will fight your battles, you need only to be still. And in my heart, I was like, ooh, that like hit me a little, but I didn't think much of it. I was just like, whatever, because I'm like so rushing everywhere. And today, as I was going to leave, I have a meeting this morning. I felt like the Lord said, I really wanted to read this other book, because you guys know how I read like 5 books at once. I felt like the Lord said, no, grab this one. And I've read it before. I'm reading it again. It's so rich and so good. So if you haven't, I would highly suggest it. But I'm at Yahweh. I'm going to say it all wrong. Ashiba. It means the Lord my restorer. And guys, who knows that God wants to give you exactly what you need? So I go and I read this, and I'm like just thinking, oh God, you're so good to me. You're so good to me. And basically what it talked about is, so this is what I love the most, is it just talked about how when our hearts get into a place of feeling frazzled, and I have felt that way for like a week straight, if not longer, and I've had to like remove social media from my phone and do other things to guard it. But she talked about the power of just being quiet and in God's presence and still. And if you know me, I am like 0 to 60 all day long, and then I crash. And so being quiet is something that I really have to work on. But man, this was so good. So I'm just going to read a small snippet. I've come to realize that my days can be a lot like my laundry situation. So she was talking about how she has laundry all over the house. Same here. I hate laundry. Right now I have like 5 piles of laundry in my room, but they're all sorted. They just need to be put away. And that's what she talked about. At times they get piled up with busy. Our Sabbaths get squeezed out. Now, when I say Sabbath, I mean the priority of coming before the Lord just to sit with Him quietly, expectantly, to listen and to be restored. Though I do include God in my days and I breathe prayers throughout them, when I don't sit before the Lord and exercise the spiritual discipline of being quiet before God, my heart becomes a big knot of frazzled. So I want to encourage you today. Do you think that maybe, possibly, you could sit before the Lord and just get quiet? I think that you'll find you're truly blessed. She goes on to share a Bible verse about David, and how, the Lord is my shepherd. He leads me beside still waters. Or I'm just going to read this one. It's Psalms 23, 2-3. He leads me beside quiet waters, and he restores my soul. What part of you needs to be restored today? Take that to Jesus. I love you guys.